Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Quadash, and double honor to the apostles of the great Noson that taught me this truth, and as well as giving the salutations thereof towards the Akim that's forwarding this truth as well in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and Shalom to the Akim Waqwaf Yam that are supporting what we say, but most importantly, heeding to what we're saying as we give it to you. In these lessons, it's your brother Laban coming at you with another video, and in this video, as you can see, I'm on the newspunch.com, and I want to be speaking on a particular topic that which is controversial, especially for YouTube anyway, but I'll tread it carefully with my words. So let's get started. Fingerprints of the un-VC'd teachers sent to FBI as huge list of VC refusers compiled by the CDC. And as you can see, this has been fact checked. Right, they got to do that to bring this out on this internet. So it goes as far as to read, New York City teachers who declined COVID VCs had their sensitive biometric data in the form of fingerprints sent to the FBI and Criminal Justice Services, according to the bombshell court documents. Attorney John Bursch stated in the open court that the New York City educator were flagged with problem codes in their personal files, and when that occurred, their fingerprints are sent with that flag to the FBI and New York Criminal Justice Services. And you can listen to the Bursch make this statement on February 8th, 2023, at the 5-minute and 30-second mark of the audio recording of the court proceeding. So if this is the case, which it is official, then it's now possibly going to be criminal to have not underwent that procedure. Okay, and it's beginning with the teachers, but we already know how this is going to wind up. Everybody else is going to be dated problematic of those that didn't receive the the VC S's, so to speak. So it's going to become criminal, and then eventually it's going to be a terrorist thing to do, to refuse to get your VCSs. I'm going to say it like that, because you already know how it is on YouTube, man. You say certain words, your videos get shut down, and then you have to suffer a strike on your channel, and you know how that goes. So I'm just gonna have to be very careful, like I said. But let me read some more on this right here. So it reads, the source of this information is Betsy Cumbia, who wrote an affidavit in the Cain de Blasio case, where she stated the un-VC'd teachers were given a problem code label that was then sent to the national databases at both the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and Department of Justice. And just like I said, it's going to be considered criminal if you didn't take it, and then eventually it's going to be considered a terrorist act that you didn't proceed to do that. And this goes right in line, and I had to say that again to get back on my train of thought, because I really wanted to bring this out first as well. So it goes as far as to read, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And this is the point that I want to project to you, brothers and you sisters that are watching, is that Esau is running out of time. So now it's going to get to the point where, like I said, it's going to become criminal for you to not receive them portions, or should I say it correctly, potions, which was told for you to get beginning, the year of 2020, when he was running that psychological operation to you, and still is to a degree. All right. So I just want to read something else now in a different article. This is down here in the UK, on how they're going to look into those that are considered anti-VIAs as terrorists. So this reads, this is from the heraldscotland.com. SNB MP urges Home Office to widen focus of terror strategy. And I'm going to just get to the point. I'm going to read a couple of points in this article because some of this stuff is quite complicated. And the point is to edify on what the deal is, man. Like, we're not going to be making videos with much complications. We do these videos to edify on points, to warn the flock. Like, we're not out here to try to sound smart and highly educated. No, we're here to warn the public, among our people, those that are in this truth, that are coming in, of what's really going on out here. That's the job of the prophets of the Lord. Okay, as I believe that I am. So let's read on. It reads, an SMP MP has urged the Home Office to refocus a domestic counter-terror program to take in anti-Vias incels and followers of the Trump-supporting QAnon conspiracy theorists. Kirsten Oswald said that the PREVENT program is too preoccupied with a possible Islamist threat and risks stigmatizing and marginalizing Muslim communities. She was speaking as Home Secretary Suella Braverman promised a major reform of the scheme following a long-awaited and damning report. So now let's go down and let's get to the point. Far-right fanatics become biggest terrorist danger in Scotland. This is what I want to get into right here. Right? While PREVENT is a part of the UK government's Home Office run counter-terrorism strategy contest, much of the responsibility for delivery lies with police, Scotland, and the Scottish government. It aims to tackle the cause of radicalization via early intervention and through giving those who have already engaged in terrorism a means of getting out. Under the scheme, teachers, healthcare professionals, social workers, and others are all tasked with directing someone they believe is at risk of radicalization to PREVENT. It operates slightly different north of the border and part of a different threat picture, with a smaller Islamist and extreme right-wing threat, but higher levels of sectarianism, if I'm correct in pronouncing that, and Northern Ireland relates terrorism. But also because of a Scottish government focus on community engagement. Now, this is the point right here. Unlike in England, there are no programs that tackle the ideological causes of terrorism, but rather the priority is on drivers of radicalization, such as poverty and mental health. And, that's possibly true, because most of the people that have a problem with their government happen to be suffering poverty, because their necessities are not met. The government ain't justing for them. All right. And then obviously in some cases you have mental health, or what they call mental health anyway. So this MP is basically conveying that they have to tackle, because in England, this as it reads, there are no programs that tackle the ideological causes of terrorism. So that could either mean that you don't really trust in your government, and because of that you're opposed to your government. It could mean that, as well as you're not going to take the VCSs because you believe that your government is out to take you out, and they have sinister agendas and stuff like that. And let's just be real about it. There's so many information. There's so much information on this that's very well the case. I mean, we could talk about the VCSs. There's plenty of folks out there that have taken it, and they're feeling some kind of way. They're not feeling like how they felt prior before they took it. They don't feel any better. They're actually feeling worse. And it's so much more that goes into how it's poison, which was told to them to go and take, but they didn't know. They didn't notice this at the time. They just thought there was a variant floating around and they got to protect themselves, not realizing that they had to undergo a procedure of inserting poison inside of them. And that poison is basically deteriorating them in the way that it's doing. That these people are going to die now. That's the thing of it is, really. So, in a way, people do have the right to consider that is very well the case. Okay. So what I'm getting from this article, and I don't want to read no more because this article goes into, things that Salakia. Like I said, I just want to bring out key points in this article, because this article, just to simply put it as I'm seeing it, the government has to now focus more on those that are anti, and those that seem to have thoughts that are opposed against their government as terrorists now. It went from the Muslims being the terrorists to look out for, the jihadists, and you name it, right? But now the new face of terrorism is going to be those that are diametrically opposed against their government. And that's what this SMP is urging the Home Office to do, including those that claim to be anti all right, they got to get out the way. So let's read the book of Revelations 12. I don't think I've read this. Revelations 12:12. And if I have, I'll read it again. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So you're going to have these MPs that are nothing more than insiders anyway for the cause, and try and persuade the government to look into the ideological forms of that brings terrorism. Look into the ideological causes of terrorism, right? And like I said, that can mean anything, man. That can mean anything that's against government. And it may be a non-violent thing. It could just be, like, for example, like if you see a group of people and they're in assembly and, they're not hurting nobody, not cursing anyone out, and it just appears to be extreme what they're doing, then, if this goes through, if the government is persuaded in doing what this MP is saying, then pretty much you could be hassled and tackled by your police, because they see that what you're doing isn't really in sync with society. So that can include, like I said, you can have a gathering of people, and they're speaking on a particular subject matter, or you could wind up like us, where you're teaching and you're preaching the Bible and stuff like that. Like all of these things that we do, it's not in sync with society, so we can obviously be, dealt with, like I said, tackled. And this is the world that Esau wants to create, because what he really wants to do eventually is to really target these people and to get rid of them, because these naysayers of this society right now are going to be the naysayers of the next one, which is what they're formulating. So this is what it is right here. They got to move with urgency. And it's looking like that. It's looking like that's going to be the possibility eventually. It's like I was watching the video that the Apostle Tahar did, and the title of the video was called "Most of Us May Have to Die for This Thing." I'm roughly paraphrasing, and that could very well be the case. But let's just say that isn't the case. At least we have to prepare our minds for the greater worse to come.